BookTube page here, and I did my introduction video. Well, it was last week, but I just posted it this week, and I thought I would give you just a little more information about me. So I'm going to do some of my favorite traditionally and indie published authors. This video will just be traditionally published, although be aware that Penelope Douglas is both, because she has had a deal with Berkeley, her follow-away series, which I will mention in this video, and then she also has the books that she's just solely published as an indie author. So the first book I'm going to talk about is probably my favorite book of all time, which is Dark Sky by Kresley Cole. And I don't know if you, oh, there we go. Okay, see, and like the lightning is, it's got little, shiny stuff, and I love shiny stuff. The covers do look different now, which I'm kind of, well, this one I'm kind of sad about, just because look at this cover, it's amazing. Anyways, this is like the 14th book in the Immortals After Dark series, so I would recommend reading them in order, but just this is like probably my favorite. I don't know, it's hard to tell because I also really loved Sweet Ruin. I mean, seriously, this book blew my mind. It gave me a mindgasm. I mean, I love Josephine and Rune. Those are the hero and heroine. But honestly, it was the plot line that got me. It just, the world, the Immortals After Dark series world has been steadily growing. And in this, it just like blows up and just, oh my gosh, I lost my mind when I read this book. I gave it 6 stars, so it's probably my favorite for like the plot line, and I don't know. A book fell. Anyways. Oh, okay. This one, it was probably the couple I was most anticipating. I waited 5.5 years for this book. It's Thronos and Lanthe's story. And I wanted their book ever since Rydstrom's book, which is The Demon King? Kiss of a Demon King? Maybe. It's the 6th book. It's hard to keep track of all the titles. And I shipped them for so long, and I just really loved them. So that's probably, I don't know, it's my my favorite, most anticipated book. And Lothair, I don't know where my sleeve went. So this is Lothair. This is probably book 12 in the series. Like I said, there's a lot of books and it's hard to keep track. I don't know. Lothair is probably my favorite hero. I have a thing for dark heroes, which if you follow along with my channel, you will come to know about me. So love Lothair. He's crazy and dark, but also sweet. And just, yeah. This is the first book. It's A Hunger Like No Other. And I know the cover is bad. Like, stuff got spilled on it. And I think my dogs chewed on it. It's bad. But I really love this book because it was the book that introduced me to, excuse me, I'm sorry, adult romance, and so it always kind of holds a special place in my heart. And I know that it's kind of problematic now. It's been a long time since I've read it, but I'm sure, like I said, even if I reread it and didn't love it as much as I did, it's still gonna be, it's always gonna be the book that introduced me to adult romance. Keep in mind, I would have gotten there eventually, but this is the book that started it all, so I really love this book. And the book that fell on the floor was also a Kresley Cole, and after this one, I'm done. This is like my favorite historical romance. It's called The Captain of All Pleasures, and it's a historical, obviously, and I just really love this. This is definitely not your mom's historical romance. It's really sexy and steamy. So if you really want a steamy historical, pick this one up. It's amazing. I just love it. The hero, I think his name is Derek. Yeah. And he's a captain, and the heroine, her name is Nicole, which I have mixed feelings about. I love that she has red hair, but Nicole is also my sister's name, so it's not as weird, but it's a little bit weird. And I can't remember why, but she gets on his ship, and they fall in love and all that jazz. I know that did not sound like I was very excited, but I just love this book. So, historical romance. If you want a sexy one, just read it because it is amazing. It's the first book in, I think maybe it's called the Sutherland Brothers series. I don't know. Derek has a younger brother. And the second book is The Price of Pleasure or something. It was an okay book. I mean, it was Kresley Cole, so I loved it, but it wasn't anywhere. I didn't love it anywhere near as much as this book. Okay, so that takes care of the captain of all pleasures. I won't bug you anymore with Kresley Cole. Okay. So this one is my second favorite book of all time. And it is After the Night by Linda Howard. I found this when I was probably in middle school or freshman year. And I had only just borrowed it from the library, but I loved it so much that I bought it. And it's sort of enemies to lovers. There's a lot that goes on in this book, and I don't want to give the plot away. It's just, I love this book so much. It was my favorite book of all time until Dark Sky, and I just love this book. Linda Howard, she's an older author. She's one of my old-timey authors. That's what I call them, and she writes so well. And so if you it's contemporary, but it's also like mystery, suspense. I don't really know if I'd call it a thriller, but it's a great book. I don't want to spoil anything, so just read it. And I love that. I love so many books by Linda Howard. And this one is Meg Cabot. I have been reading her for a really long time, ever since middle school, and she does write, if you know Meg Cabot, she writes a lot of young adult. So if you like young adult, check out her Mediator series because it's amazing. And I will try not to say amazing so much. Okay, so this is She Went All the Way, and the hero, her name is Lou, and she's like a screenwriter, and the hero, his name is Jack Townsend, and he's an actor, and they work together because he's kind of like an Indiana Jones type character, or, like Bruce Willis in Die Hard, so they have it's a franchise, and they hate each other because Jack changed her iconic line, so, once again, like Bruce Willis, yippee-ki-yay, mother. Not gonna say it. And so he basically changed that. That's not what the line was gonna be, obviously, but, he changed her line, so she hates him, and they are on a plane to shoot the final movie in Alaska, and the pilot goes all crazy and tries to kill them, and so they're running through the Alaskan wilderness, and it's just a great book. And if you're new to romance and thinking about trying it, you should start with this because it's pretty tame. It's not really that steamy. It's more just vague what's going on. So if you want to try a romance novel, this one's it's not going to throw you in the deep end. You'll definitely just be in the shallow waters with this one. And it plays out like a movie too. It's told from different points of view, and it skips around kind of like a movie does, and I just really love it. I've read it more than once, and it's just an awesome book. Another author who I really love is Joanna Wild. This is my favorite MC book. It's the third, and that's Motorcycle Club. It's the third book in the Reapers MC series. You do not have to read them in order. This is Picnic's story. He's the president, and I loved him. I mean, he might be like in his 40s, but hot damn, he is hot. And the heroine, her name is London. She owns a cleaning service, and so she cleans up the club and she cleans up his house. And that sounds kind of bad, but obviously he pays her. And Picnic's been he mostly, well, I mean, I won't get into it because it doesn't matter. But I just know that I loved London. Like, seriously, I had a woman crush on her. She's like the first heroine I ever had like a really hard woman crush on. She's just amazing. She's so capable. She's in her 30s, so I mean, if you don't want a romance with like a 20-year gap, this is definitely the book for you. London's a total badass. Just freaking loved her. Loved this book. It's my favorite in the Reaper's MC series, and probably my favorite motorcycle book. Motorcycle club book. Another one of my favorite authors is Karen Robards. This is probably my favorite taboo book. It's called One Summer, and this is like mystery suspense. The heroine, she is a teacher, or she was a teacher. I can't remember if she still does. She might be, well, not retired, but she might, I don't know. I feel like she runs her father's shop. And the hero, he was actually a former student of hers, but it's not icky. He's been in jail for murder, prison, and he's about to be released on parole, and she gives him a job, and yeah, stuff happens. This is like seriously one of the hottest books I read. It was so hot. Probably my favorite taboo romance. And you know, I usually don't read younger men, older women books. Not because I have a problem with it, just because I can't imagine dating anyone younger. So it's really hard for me to kind of wrap my mind around that. But you should definitely read One Summer. And that's great. Okay, I will mention, so these are Penelope Douglas's traditionally published books. This is Rival. It's the second book in her Fall-Away series. The first one is Bully, and there is a novella, Until You, but Bully is just from Tate's point of view. She's the heroine, and Jared is the hero, and Until You is just solely from his point of view. Rival is Maddox. It's his book. It's not her best written book, but it is my favorite because Maddox my favorite. I mean, he's like my all-time #1 favorite book boyfriend. Just, I love Maddox, so. And Fallon is his stepsister, although I don't think they're step-siblings anymore. Actually, maybe they are. Yeah, they are. Okay. But, you know, it's not seedy or gross. It's a really great book, and you will love Maddox. He's the classic, well, I don't want to say classic, but, you know, he's just a really funny guy with, you know, a deeper side to him. And I loved it, and I love Maddox. And this isn't one of my favorites of hers. It's Misconduct, although it is my favorite cover, which is why I wanted to share it, because I just love it so much. I don't know why I do, but I do. And the heroine, she is the hero's son's teacher. So she's high school, and she's a high school teacher, history, I think, or political science, and she teaches his son. The hero, he's like the mayor or running for something, and so yeah, this is their romance. Taboo. It's really good. Love the cover. Alright. So, well, that is all of my traditionally published authors on the table. But this is my favorite Karen Robards book. It's, you know, she writes a lot of suspense and mystery, and this takes place, I think, in Mexico, and they're on the run, and it was just, I really loved this book. And Sherilyn Kenyon, she was one of the first adult romance authors that I read, and this is my favorite book of hers. Styx And it is, oh my gosh, maybe the 18th, 16th book in the series. It's hard to keep track. There's so many books in that series. And I will say that you can read out of order. It's the Dark Hunter series. But if you do decide to read out of order, you have to read Acheron first, okay? You have to. Just, there's no getting around it. So, and then if you want to read Urian, he's another character. And his book is Stygian. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's the latest book out, but definitely read Acheron and Styx before that. If you want to start at the beginning, that's great. But if you don't, just make sure Acheron, Styx, and Stygian. And by the way, this has 848 pages in them, and over half of them are filled with pain. Okay, so save yourself some pain. Although Acheron's not any slouch either. His book's pretty. His book is it's sad too. Alright, I think that is all of my traditionally published authors for right now. So I will do my indie authors next. So, see ya!